In this video, I'll be revealing how most Canadians use their RRSPs completely wrong and the strategic approach that maximizes tax benefits instead of creating future tax disasters. Through working with Canadian clients who optimize their RRSP strategies, I've discovered that treating RRSPs as simple savings accounts rather than tax management tools creates massive, unnecessary tax burdens during retirement. That's exactly why I'm making this video today, to show you how to fix common RRSP mistakes and use these accounts strategically to minimize lifetime taxes rather than deferring problems until retirement. Let's get right into it. Most people use RRSPs with good intentions. They put money away, they reduce taxes today, and they feel good when they get a refund at tax time. And to be clear, there's nothing wrong with that, but here's the part most people miss. Those tax savings today are not permanent tax savings. They're tax deferral. Every dollar you put into an RRSP will eventually come out as taxable income. So while decades of consistent RRSP contributions can absolutely build you wealth, they can also create tax issues later in retirement if there's no plan for how that money comes back out. Now, I want to be very clear here. This is not an anti-RRSP video, and it's not one of those videos that twists this realization into RRSPs are terrible, you should never use them. That's not true either. The real issue isn't RRSPs themselves. It's using them with their intention. What we want to be thinking about is how RRSPs fit alongside tax-free savings accounts and non-registered investments. We want to make decisions today based on your current income and tax bracket, while also thinking ahead to what your retirement income and tax brackets are likely to look like. We also need to think about what other income sources you're going to have in retirement and what income splitting options might be available later on. The problem is that most Canadians fall into one of two extremes. On one side, you have people who think RRSPs eliminate tax entirely. They get a refund, they move on, but they never really think about the future tax bill. On the other side, you have people who say, I'll never use an RRSP because maybe they remember how much the parents paid in tax when they passed away on that account, or they fixate on the idea that withdrawals are taxable anyway, so they just avoid the RRSP altogether. Neither approach is ideal. What's missing here is intentional planning. Many institutions emphasize RRSP contributions and refunds, but they rarely highlight the withdrawal taxation reality on the other end. And when people focus only on growing the account, they get distracted from planning how that money will actually support a tax-efficient retirement. At the end of the day, using RRSPs without intention often means more money going to CRA and less money supporting your retirement lifestyle. So let's talk about where problems can show up if RRSPs grow too large without a plan. One of the biggest issues is what happens when RRSPs are left untouched until age 71 and then converted to a RRIF. At that point, mandatory RRIF withdrawals begin at age 72, and those forced withdrawals stack on top of everything else: CPP, old age security, maybe part-time work income, pensions, and all of that income adds together. In some cases, this can push retirees into higher tax brackets than they were while they were working. And it can also trigger old age security clawbacks and reduce access to other benefits. This is where planning really matters. We need to understand your tax brackets today during what are often your highest earning years. Then we need to map out what your income and your tax brackets are likely to look like once you're retired. In many cases, retirement income is lower than working income. And when that's true, RRSPs are incredibly powerful. You're getting deductions at higher tax rates and withdrawing later at lower ones. That's exactly how RRSPs are supposed to work. But retirement doesn't look the same for everyone. Some retirees have pensions, some continue working part-time, some have significant investment income, and in those cases, retirement tax brackets may not be lower. That's why it's critical to understand this ahead of time. There's also an important planning opportunity around income splitting. Once you turn 65, RRSPs can be converted to RRIFs, and RRIF income can be split with a spouse. But if you retire early, that option doesn't exist until 65. So if one spouse is the higher income earner and RRSP savings are heavily concentrated in one name, spousal RRSP planning earlier on can create far more flexibility later. Another issue shows up when RRSPs are your only meaningful source of savings. If an unexpected expense comes up and the only place you can draw from is an RRSP, that withdrawal becomes fully taxable income. A large withdrawal can push you easily into higher tax brackets and affect benefits. Sometimes the most optimal strategy on paper isn't the most flexible strategy in real life. That's why even when RSPs make sense, it's often prudent to also build tax-free savings, and for higher income earning households, non-registered investments as well. And just to address something I see in the comments all the time, when people say, who needs $1 million to retire? Who needs $3 million to retire? These conversations aren't about survival. They're about helping people who worked hard, sacrificed, and saved intentionally move from surviving to thriving in retirement. These decisions are about keeping more of what you earned, not handing unnecessary dollars to CRA. Now let's talk about what intentional RSP use actually looks like. If you're in the highest earning years of your career and planning shows you'll be in a lower tax bracket in retirement, RSPs are incredibly effective. You contribute, you get the tax deduction. That deduction creates real tax savings. But here's the key piece many people miss. To fully benefit from RSPs, the tax refund needs to be invested as well. That refund might go into the TFSA, or if you have contribution room, it can go back into your RSP. If the refund is spent, instead, a big part of the RSP advantage disappears. On the other hand, if planning shows your retirement income may be similar to or even higher than your current income, we need to be more careful. In those cases, tax-free savings accounts often make more sense. From a pure tax standpoint, if your tax rate is the same going in and coming out of retirement, RSPs and TFSAs are equivalent. But from a flexibility standpoint, TFSAs win. Tax-free withdrawals, no impact on benefits, no forced distributions. That flexibility is incredibly valuable in retirement. So being intentional about expected retirement tax brackets, income splitting opportunities, and withdrawal flexibility can easily mean tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars in lifetime tax savings compared to a one-size-fits-all RSP approach. Now that you understand intentional strategy, if you need more help with your plan, click the link below to book a call where I'll analyze your specific situation and show you exactly how to optimize your retirement plan as a whole. Once retirement begins, the question becomes, how do we prevent RRSPs from turning into a tax problem? This is where strategic withdrawals in your 60s can make a huge difference. For many retirees, the years between retirement and CPP and OAS create a low-income window, and that window allows you to take modest RSP withdrawals in lower tax brackets. So look, this isn't about draining your RSPs quickly. It's about managing tax brackets. By taking withdrawals in the 20 or 30% range for taxes earlier, you can avoid being forced into 40% plus tax brackets later when your RRIF minimums begin. This approach often creates a win-win-win as lower future tax brackets, lower lifetime taxes, and the ability to live the best retirement in the early years. It can also support delaying government benefits like CPP, OAS, increasing guaranteed inflation-adjusted income later in life while still funding that lifestyle you want in your 60s. Earlier, we talked about tax flexibility. This is where TFSAs really shine. While TFSAs are often maximized for long-term growth and legacy planning, they also provide incredible flexibility in retirement. TFSA withdrawals create no taxable income, they don't affect any benefits, they don't push you into higher tax brackets, and this makes them perfect for filling income gaps, for covering large one-time expenses. We've used this exact strategy with clients who had large RSPs but underused their TFSAs. In one specific case, a retired spouse had no income while the other was still working. But what we did was we intentionally used the low tax brackets to fund and grow his tax-free savings account. When an unexpected $70,000 vehicle purchase came up, the withdrawal created zero tax. There was no tax bracket issues, no benefit impacts. That's flexibility in action. Now that you understand tax-free savings account blending benefits, let's look at the comprehensive RRSP optimization framework that maximizes lifetime tax efficiency. This planning works best when it starts early, but even within a few years of retirement, it can have a massive impact. The process starts with understanding the full picture: income, taxes, spending, goals. From there, we project future tax brackets, and we build intentional strategies around RRSPs, TFSAs, and government benefits. As retirement approaches, we coordinate CPP, OAS, and withdrawal timing. We take advantage of low-income years, We reduce large RSP balances before RRIF minimums apply. And we revisit this plan regularly because retirement planning is not static. Markets change, life changes, tax rules change. This is an ongoing process, not a one-time event or decision. And this is where retirement-focused, tax-aware planning goes far beyond investment selection alone. Now that you understand how Canadians use RSPs wrong and how strategic contributions, balance TFSA accumulation, early withdrawals, and blended income strategies maximize lifetime tax efficiency, you can fix common mistakes and optimize your retirement planning. If you need help with your retirement strategy, click the link below to book a call where I'll analyze your specific situation and show you exactly how to build a comprehensive plan for your circumstances. I'll see you in the next video.